Okay, gentlemen, so we are going to start today chapter number 13. It is about project funding. Allow me to say, Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to each one of you. So, as I said, we are going to talk about chapter number 13 of your book. It is about project funding. Okay, project funding or project financing, like how we have to arrange funding to build projects. So, like they are going to start with the money, a basic resource. So, in construction, we talk. We know that construction resources. Just to remember, we say they are, to remember 4M. Every word is starting with M. Like first one, a resource for construction. If we have to build a civil engineering project. So we need money for any engineering project. We need money, and second, we need machines like construction machinery or equipment, tools. So we need a manpower, resource, workforce, labor. So to build the project, and we need a material for to build the project. Okay, so these are 4M. In the next chapters, we will try to study about all these, 4M. About next chapter, maybe we will discuss about the construction machinery or construction equipment, and then construction labor and material management also. So we will try to go through all those 4M, all construction resources that we need to build our construction project. Okay, so basic resource is the money. Okay, owner or developer must have money available to initiate the construction project. Okay, so in this chapter, the method by which the owner acquire project funding will be discussed. So this will be like our discussion in this, that how we are going to arrange money to build a project, or how we are going to finance project. So it's see, if you are going to start project, you are going to create jobs, okay, and you are going to build assets. So maybe road or bridges or whatever, infrastructure. So related to many things, maybe water supply, maybe sewerage, maybe all kinds of dams, okay, or high-rise building. So these all we need money for our to support and finance our projects. So in the this is just a simple slide. Is going to show that how project money flows. Okay, so like how cash flow flows from the money. Those people who are going to support construction or who are going to lend that money. Okay, so they may give money to the owner or developers, the banks, or the government grants. So that money go to the owner or developers, and developers they will hire a prime contractor. Then money flow from owner and developer towards prime contractor. Then other prime means main contractor, key contractor, or prime contractor, and then from prime contractor towards the subcontractors. Okay, so this is like how the money trickle down at the low level. So to subcontractors mean money will go to the labor force, to the engineers, to all the workers working on the project, or to the equipment owners who are going to rent those equipment. So it's project funding. Project funding is the means by which the money required to undertake a project is secured and then made available as required. So we have to arrange that money for the project. When required, so that money should be available to build the project. Project funding options are like from grant or partnership, borrowing money, investors financing, donations, crowdfunding, growing revenue, and conserving cash, and selling up. Okay, so all these points, 8 points, we are going to discuss very short, like a grant. A grant is a sum of money given by a government or other organizations for a particular purpose, okay, to build the project. So grant, a government usually is going to finance those projects, okay, for the building of roads, bridges, or any infrastructure, okay, any power generation plant. So this is like a financing grant from the government, okay, from the government budget. This is generally the common source of money for building universities, for schools, for any government offices, courts, etc. So then partnership, okay, partnership, like partner, they can finance the project, okay. Partnership can help manage cost by sharing buildings, equipment, expertise, and workloads. A partner will provide funding to build a project. Okay, so who are the partner in the project? They will share their resources to finance a project. Okay, maybe someone will contribute in terms of equipment or in terms of land, in terms of different as they have internal agreement among the partners. Borrowing money can be an option if the project can repay the loan. So this is like people can borrow money from those banks and they can return back that money, that loan what they have taken from those banks when the project start giving a return. Investors are looking for opportunities to put up their funds into providing equity for returns or profit. So investors, because they are looking for high returns and they are looking for profit, so they can invest money in projects because they think those projects will give high return to them and they will get benefit. So investors can support projects. Investors can finance projects. Uh, People like to show support for good cause by giving a donation to build a project. Okay, so donations also, like some people, they give a donation for building or constructing projects. These days in many universities, like the people who graduated, alumni, they have donated some buildings to the university that as donation. So some companies, some people, when they graduate, they do business and they make a lot of money. So they are going to donate some money to the universities, similarly to other welfare-related projects. A crowdfunding is raising money from large number of people using internet to connect with potential funders. Okay, so crowdfunding, that also we can also large number of people and they could be connected with the internet or WhatsApp these days with Twitter to let they should contribute and finance those projects. Okay, provide funding for the projects. Growing revenue and conserving cash are effective ways to improve a bank balance. This money shall be used to finance a project. So companies, construction companies or other companies, so they try to save their savings, and they can collect the cash. They are preparing that they will be launching a new project. Okay? So they can provide funding for new projects. Selling when the time is right, it is better to let go of a project and allow someone else to take control. Money obtained from selling shall be used to build a new project. Okay. So this is sometimes some owners they like to sell their old projects, the old shopping mall, and they obtain money by those sellings, and then they launch new projects. Okay, they finance, provide funding for the new projects. So this is like, in short, we learn how we are going to arrange funding for our projects. Funding for projects may be via single source or through multiple investors. Okay. So funding can be, from any one source or can be from more than one sources, we can arrange funding for the project. So let's move to the next slide. It's a construction financing process. Okay, so uh, government can provide funding for construction projects. This is the common method of financing. So this is what we have talked about before also, that government can finance, can arrange or can provide funding for new projects for building of road, bridges, or any water supply scheme, sewerage related scheme, or building of universities, building of schools, colleges, and other government buildings, courts, okay, so police stations, things like this, you know. So government is going to support and provide funding for the projects. Then in the private sector, you know, so we have to look how we can generate economic activity, you know, to start new projects. How we can in private sector also, people can support and initiate new projects, and they can provide you know, jobs and raise living standard of the people. So owner financing in private sector typically requires two types of funding. One is, we call it short-term construction and long-term mortgage funding. Okay, so we will discuss these two in detail, inshallah, in the coming slides. What is short-term loans for construction and long-term mortgage loans for construction. A short-term funding is the form of construction loan. A short-term loan is provided by a lending institution based on the assurance that it will be repaid with the interest. So short-term loan, from start of the construction until completion of the project. So this loan will be provided by the lending institutions, maybe banks, and they know that the return from the project will be more, and this loan will be repaid to them and returned to them with the according to the contract, with the interest, okay, with profit. Long-term financing involves a mortgage loan over a range from 10 to 30 years. Okay, so long-term mortgage loans are like building of houses, how for to support housing for the families, or other you know, like infrastructure projects on BOT basis projects. Sometimes we get these mortgage loans for a long time. It's about from 10 to 30 years. Okay, so we will discuss this also, about how we are going to finance projects with the mortgage loans. Funding of large projects may be handled by a consortium of international bankers. In large projects, in many projects in the world are in different countries, especially in developing countries. So they have been financed by consortium of international banks. Okay. Like the Channel Tunnel, they say it was also, you know, linking France with the UK. So this was also financed by international banks. So there are other many examples. Construction financing process. Okay, let's move to the this construction financing process. A borrower firm may be required to provide the following as per the loan applications. Okay, so when the people submit application for the loan, so these are like the general points that they have to fulfill, you know, to get the loan. So what is the financial statement of the company or firm that company is going to get a loan? So their financial statement, how are their transactions, how big projects they have been handling, or how is their financial statement. Personal financial statement from the principals of the firm. Okay, so key persons in the company, like main owner, or chief executive officer, president, so main people in the company. So their personal financial statement. Bank want to know about how their financial statement look like, about the finances or transactions. Proof of land for the project. Okay, third thing we need to provide is proof of land, like a registry or papers for the, and that they are the true owner of this piece of land over which the project will be built. A preliminary floor plans and elevation of the project. So we need to submit approved or preliminary plan and with elevations. So that this is the project and it will after construction it will look like this one, you know. So these are the ground floor plan, first floor plan, second floor plan, or other all plans, and then this is the elevation of the project. So project will look like this way, you know, in case of building projects. Preliminary cost estimate. So we have to submit that expected cost of the project will be this much, you know, so that the bank will have clear picture how much this project will cost. A market study to verify expected income from the project. So we need to submit that after completion, what will be the return from this project? Okay, how much income this project will generate monthly or annually or on daily basis. So we have to give this expected income from the project. A detailed projected income and expenses throughout the life of the mortgage loan. So if the mortgage loan is for 30 years, so we need to provide detailed income and expenses, like how much will be the maintenance cost of this project for maintaining and how much will be the return. So then how much will be the net return from this project. So we need to provide all these information to the banks or to those institutions who are going to provide funding or who are going to lend money for the project. So with this, let's move forward. No, there is your book is going to talk that they are going to give example for long-term pro forma, like they are going to brief this with an example, you know. So here is an example of the long-term finance involving construction and leasing of a 75-unit apartment complex as shown in figure 13.2a. And then the basis for the loan amount is given in figure 13.2b. Okay. If I show to you this, this is like 13.2b is this is the like how much they need the construction cost breakdown of that 75-unit apartment. Okay. So they need money, how much loan they need. The total requirement for the project is given as an example, you know, so that students can learn that this is construction related cost and non-construction related costs. Like construction related cost, you can see there is the excavation, there is a storm sewer, sanitary sewers, water supply lines, electrical lines, foundations, construction of slabs. So it's carpentry work. Okay, there is a plumbing work, electrical work, heating and air conditioning work. So there is a kitchen cabinets, painting and decorations, masonry blocks, okay, disposal, exhaust fan, refrigerator, pavings, walkways and curbs, landscaping. And fireplace cleanup. So all these things, this is a construction related cost. And then there is a non-construction related cost. There is like survey fees, architect fees, land cost, there is attorney fee, there is a hazard insurance premium, there is a building permits, there is a taxes that we need to pay. So total money they need to finance this project is 2,422,000. Okay. 2,422,000. So now in the previous figure, like this previous figure here, they are going to put okay, what will be the income from this project. So there is a market rent for the subject property. So there is a, like it's a 75-unit apartment. Among the 75 unit, 55 are two-bedroom apartments. Their category A, B, C. So there is a area per apartment is 1,167 square feet, and rent will be like 41 cent per square feet. Okay. So it comes 478.7. So its monthly rent is like $480. Okay, monthly rent is $480. So when we multiply it by 55, because these are 50 to 55 two bedrooms, so then monthly total rent will become 26,400. Similarly, there are 20 three bedroom apartments, and their area is 1,555 square foot each. So the rate will be 37.3 cent per square foot. So this comes 580. Okay, 580 like a monthly rent for one apartment. So one apartment, so we multiply it by 20. So for 23 bedroom monthly, the income will be 11,600. Okay, so total we add these two figures, we get total estimated monthly income is 38,000. Then in this apartment, there is some other income, small, they have a laundry shop and they have a vending machine, like they provide juice or whatever, that vending machine. So they sell those things. So just, they get a monthly income from this, these two laundry and vending machine is $150. Okay, so total income come 38,150. So we multiply it by 12, so this will give us the annual income of this apartment is 457,800. Then they say less is the vacancy factor of 5% based on the historical data. Sometimes, some apartment is vacant or it's not on, or somebody has left and it will remain vacant for some days for renovation and things. So 5% this less vacancy factor we is 5% of 457,800 it will be equal to 22,890. Okay, so we make less this one, so the adjusted gross income will become 434,910, and then less estimated expenses at the rate of this one. So now they say that there is a, to run this apartment, they may have a person in charge. They pay salary to them. There is a cleaning. There is a maybe providing a refrigerator inside those rooms or bedroom, bed sheet, everything. So the running cost for this is 29.45% of this cost. So they are going to make less that running cost. Estimated expenses for this project, it becomes 29.45% of 434,910. It will be equal to 128,080. Okay. So when we subtract this, so it means net income before debt servicing, net income is 306,830. Okay, this is our net income. Now, if we, there is a capitalization cost. If we use that, interest rate is 9.5%, and we divide with that, so this will give us the expected economic value of this apartment. That will be, 3,229,789. So the total requested loan we have seen in the previous slide, it was $2,422,000. So the loan ratio, so we will these calculations I'm going to put in more detail in the previous slide. If we go this way, so maybe you can learn better. See, it's a 75 unit apartment. So then a market rent for 52 two bedroom for one is $480 for one bedroom, one apartment. So they are 55. Okay, 55 apartments. So total is 26,400. Then rent from the 20 three bedroom apartment, they are 20, and the rate is 580, as we have seen before in the previous slide. Rate is $580 per month. Okay, so we multiply with 20. So for all the apartment, it will become 11,600. So we add up this, total income will be 38,000. Then Other income, laundry and vending machine is just 150. So we add this 150 to 38,000 and then multiply it by 12. So this will be like annual income is 457,800. So less vacancy factor 5%. Like this is 5% of this amount. It will be 22,890. And then we make less this one, so it will become annual adjusted annual income is 457,800 minus 22,890 is equal to 438,910. Okay. So we will just go a little bit more. So adjusted income we have seen 434,910. And then less estimated expenses. Okay, estimated expenses they are 29.45%, like paying off salary, who is managing this apartment, or cleaning, or other charges. So it's 128,080. Then net annual income will be 434,910 minus 128,080. So this is the net annual income is 306. 306 100 830. Okay, so 306,830. Okay, so now what I said before, that the capitalization rate is a measure used to compare different real estate investment. Okay, a capitalization rate is calculated as a ratio between the net income by an asset and the current market value. Okay, so here we assume that it's 9.5%. If we divide this income, net income, with this capitalization rate, so we economic value of this project will become 3,229,789. Okay, so total construction cost, total requested loan we need, as we have seen in the previous slide, is 2,422,000. So this annual debt servicing for this loan, because we are going to get this 2.4 million, so annual debt servicing for this will be, it will become 236,145. So income after debt servicing, like this is the now debt servicing monthly basis and then annual. Okay, and then this we have the total income 306,830 minus this annual debt servicing 236,145. So net profit like annual is 70,685. Okay, so this indicates that project is viable and economically feasible, so we can go ahead with this this project. So here, now we know the ratio between annual income and annual debt servicing. So if we put 306,830 divided by 236,145, so ratio is 1.3. If the ratio is more than 1, so it means the project is viable. So if we want to calculate like a loan per unit, so we can divide, because total loan is 2,422,000 divided by 75 units apartment. So divided by 70, so per unit is per unit for one apartment is 32,293. So total square foot area of 75 unit apartments, we know the area is 55 apartments, they have area is 1,167. 20 apartments, they have area is 1,555. So total area for the apartments become 95,285 foot square. So loan per square foot, okay, we divide the total loan with the per square foot. So it's per square foot loan is like we need 25.42. So this is because what we learned from this example, that project is feasible. So now usually, the lender who are going to give loans, so they usually finance the project up to 80% or 75%. In this case, they will finance 75%, and the developer will provide 25%. So if we want to calculate from this, like what is the capitalization rate for if these ratios. So it's 75% lender rate if they lend the money, 8.5 is the interest rate, and then 25% the developers part, and developers they can give developer rate will be 12%, so we can get a capitalization rate 9.375. So in our calculation, we have used 9.5 just to see the how the current worth of this building. So with this example, we are going to learn that project is like the ratio between annual income and annual debt is 1.3. Okay, so it's a feasible project, economically viable project. We can go ahead and we can arrange this loan, and we can implement and we can build a structure on site. So with this, we move forward to the next topic is mortgage loans commitment. Okay. Now we say mortgage loans are for 10 to 30 years, okay, for long-term loans. These are like long-term loans. Lender agrees that upon construction completion, the agreed upon amount of funds will be provided at the stated interest rate for the stated period of time. Okay, so usually they from 10 to 30 years period, they give mortgage loans. So usually these loans are after completion of the project. Okay. The actual amount of funds provided is less than the entire amount needed. The difference, called owner's equity, must be furnished by the owner or from other sources. Okay, so this is also like mortgage loans. When they get this money, so then owner want to build the project, so owner has to finance not only from this, but from the given estimate. So they may give, the total price of the property is like 100, so they may give 80, $80. So if the $100 is total price, so it's like a mortgage loan. Also, banks always keep them on safe side, so they give maybe 80% loan or 75% or something like this. The rest 25% or 20%, so the owner need to finance from his own resources or from his own equity, owner's part of the money. So now during construction period, no money flow from long-term lender to the borrower. Okay, this is usually, what happened that during the construction period, allow me to brief a little bit. During the construction period, so usually people get a construction loan, okay, and that they will build the project with the construction loan. So now, according to the design, project was built, and the owner has a construction loan. But once the project will complete, so now owner can ask the banks that provide us the mortgage loan. Okay, so now that land and project was built, so it's like the whole everything is complete. So now on this, owner can ask for mortgage loan. So then bank will evaluate how much is the total value of this land and construction and total project. From that, maybe 80% they will finance. They will give loan 80% of that value, and then what bank will do is they will whatever the loan they will extend. From that loan, they will cancel, or they will repay that construction loan. So it means building will be free from the construction loan, and only mortgage loan will be left with the owner of the project, that they can from the mortgage loan they can finance the next project. So this is what we are going to explain. During construction period, no money flow from the long-term lender to the borrower. Okay. So means mortgage loan has nothing to do during the construction period. Okay. So construction should be financed with the construction loan, and that will from start of the project until completion. The borrower pledges to construct the project according to the approved plans, like plan, first floor plan, second floor, third floor, elevations. Funds necessary for construction must be obtained from a short-term lender. Okay, from a short-term lender, so who will give a loan for a short-term to build that project. Okay, so this will be like owner should arrange a short-term loan. Then once he has in this short-term loan and he has constructed this building, then he can get the mortgage loan. Okay, the lender of the long-term finances will pay off the short-term loan in full at the time of construction completion, thereby cancelling the construction loan and leaving the borrower with a long-term debt to the mortgage lender. So once during construction period, the owner got the construction loan, and then they have built that project with the construction loan. So now when the project is everything is complete, they can pledge this project for mortgage, okay, and they can get a loan for next 20 to 30 years, okay, long-term loan. And then from this loan will pay money to the clear the loan of the construction, and then rest of the money will be used for the next project. Yeah, so this is mortgage loans. Okay, with this we will move next, inshallah, construction loan. Okay, now we will discuss construction loan. Commercial bank, like we said, from start of the project until completion, we are going to get construction loan. Okay, short term. So construction loan, commercial bank often extend construction loans. Banks base their construction calculation and keep margin while extending a construction loan, and only 70 to 80% will be lent. Okay, so this is like whatever the estimate of that construction. So bank will give 70 to 80% of that estimate. Rest owner has to finance from his own equity, okay, from his own sources. Lender set up a draw schedule for the builder or contractor. This draw schedule allows the release of funds in a defined pattern depending upon the site and length of the project. Okay. So once this loan is approved, so usually lender they are going to give this loan according to the schedule. Okay, they will set schedule. Actually, they want to make sure that whatever the money they will give, that must be used for building the project, not for anything else. So they may say, in case of small house, they may ask that, okay, we will give you loan once you build the foundation, okay, and then second time we will give you another installment when you build it up to lintel level or doors level, and do the brickwork or block work. And then we will, when you do the whole first floor block work, complete the block work and lentils over the doors and windows. So, and then maybe third time they give another installment when they complete the slab. Next time when they complete the flooring, or next time when they complete the interior finishes. So this is like they can follow the some schedule to make sure that whatever money is given from the bank is being spent on the same project. So the bank will visit the site and make sure that a project is being constructed, or they can give this money to those contractors, you know. So it will be like a teamwork. For single unit residential housing, payment may be in stages of construction. Okay, what I have mentioned before, payment may be in stages of construction, maybe for example, for foundation, for making frames, okay, columns and frames, and or installing doors and windows level and doing the block work, or in the stages like completing the first floor roofing, and then interior flooring or any interior finishes, doing plastering or painting or etc. You know. For large projects, the loan draw schedule is based on monthly payment. Okay. For large projects, the bank will give this construction loan on monthly basis to make sure that that is being used for the construction of the same project. Okay. So this is, we talk about the construction loans, and we also talk about mortgage loans. Okay. So let's see, there is a owner financing using bonds. Okay, this is another method of corporations, big institutions, they can build their buildings by having floating bonds. Owner financing using bonds. Owner financing means financing arrangement made by corporations or institutions that are the owner of the project. A bond is a kind of formal promise to pay back a sum of money at a future point in time. Okay, so these bonds can be issued by these, government departments, municipalities, or highway department, or whatever. A bond is a financial contract. Okay, a borrower agrees to repay the amount that was borrowed and also a rate of interest over a period of time in future. Okay. So the borrower like they will pay the rent and then they will return that loan also what they have borrowed. A corporate bond is issued by firms, but bonds are also issued by various level of government. Okay. For example, a municipal bond is issued by cities, a state bond by states, a treasury bond by the federal government through Department of Treasury or Wazarat Maliya. Okay. So these bonds can be issued at a different level to finance their projects. A bond specifies an amount that will be borrowed, the interest rate that will be paid, and the time until repayment. Okay, so when they are going to how much money they have to borrow and what will be the interest rate they have to pay for that money, and then when they will return that payment. Okay, so we will learn this with an example. Like here they have putting example. For instance, Joe borrows $1,000 and agrees to pay back 1,000 at the end of 10 years. Okay. He pays an annual interest of 8%. He pays an annual interest of 8%. So he pays the rent for 80 per year. Okay. On 1,000, if the interest is 8%, so 1,000 multiplied by 8 by 100, so you will get 80. Okay. So $80 will be the per year rent. The sequence of payment would be as appear in the figure below. So in 30.3 there is a figure. So there is a see here is this is the loan they are going to get $1,000, and after 10 years they will return this $1,000. So every year the rent they are going to pay is what they agreed is 8%. So every year they will pay $80, monthly, yearly, or monthly payments, whatever the way they agreed. So it's actually is 80, yearly payments, $80. So they will pay every year $80 until 10th year. Okay. And the last year they will return the whatever the money they have borrowed. So this is the way the bonds are going to work. Okay. So the owners they can get or these institutions they can arrange money by from these bonds, okay, to finance their projects. So guys, now before moving to the next, because here next they are going to say that you can also build projects by build, operate, and transfer way. But here I would like to mention that for academic purposes, we can mention that this interest is 8% or whatever is shown. This is for academic purposes. But from all this discussion, what you can understand is that whatever you are going to get loan, so the interest rate should be, project must give more return. Project must give more return. So now I would like to say that in Islam, zakat is 2.5%. And similarly, riba is a haram, because like this interest is not, that ideally interest should be zero. Okay? So there is no interest in Islam. Now, if I will let you know that in all those developed countries, say for example, today interest rate in US is just 0.25%, no, 1/4 of one. Okay, so in USA the interest rate is less than 1%. It is actually 0.25%, and in UK it's 0.1%. In Japan, is interest rate is negative, so minus 0.1% these days. So, but in Pakistan is, say for example, in Pakistan is 7%, in Egypt is 8.25% today. So this is what I want to say is, projects, they have a limit. If you borrow $100 or 100 real, after 1 year, you can convert to 105, 103, 105. It's easy, that it can generate this much. But when you put high interest rate, then projects usually don't give that much income. So then projects become bankrupt. Those projects fail. They are not able to repay those loans. This is the reason. If you see all the developed countries, the in Japan, if you see the last 50 years interest rate, it is always around one or less than one, or these days is negative. So negative means like minus 0.1. Negative is like you take 100 real or $100. After 1 year, you return 99.9. Okay, so less than that one, what you have borrowed. Means government want this business should company should work, and they should continue their business, so they can the finances are easily available. Okay. But in developing countries, their interest rate is so high, because their governments are corrupt, or there are many other problems. So the government structure is too heavy on over the income of the country. So then the interest rate is very high, and when whatever they take a loan when over high interest rate like 8%, 7%, sometime a couple of 1 year back it was in Pakistan. The government increased the interest rate up to 13%. So then projects go bankrupt. Project cannot give that much return. So we Muslims need to understand this thing. And that in just like in developing countries, they maintain low interest rate. So we should also maintain low interest rate, and then our projects will give return, and every projects will give return. And whatever you take the loan, so it will be very easy for you to return that loan and build the project on site. So then you can have roads and bridges and high-rise buildings and all housing. So there will be no shortage of housing. It will provide jobs, and it will create the business environment in the country to raise, when everybody will start like building projects in the housing sector, in the government sector, in the building of schools, colleges. So there will be a lot of jobs. Okay. So this is the way that we can do construction. With this little bit, I just want to say that we need to pay attention that no one should be involved in high interest rate. Of course, I personally avoid. I don't never involve myself in riba. I maintain a current account, and I never take any maintenance saving account. So this is like everybody should be away from this interest rate. So here they are going to give another method. I'm going to mention that we can adopt a build, operate, and transfer approach, project delivery approach to finance the projects. Okay, this is very good. That in these days it's a good approach. A private party or concessionary retain a concession for a fixed period from a public party called client for the development and operation of the public facility. Okay, so they give example like construction of Suez Canal by the French was done using a BOT approach. So in this, a single contractor with design, construction, and facility management expertise as well as funding capacity is appointed to design and build the project and then to operate it for a period of say 30 years. The implementation of a BOT project, also called a public-private partnership or PPP, public-private partnership concept is shown in the figure next. Like here, we have, if we say that this is the concession company, and this is like a government department or Department of Highway, so they are going to build a bridge. Bridge like over the Red Sea linking with Egypt or with Saudi Arabia, or they already have a bridge from the Mom, Hubar linking with the Bahrain, so Causeway Bridge. So you can finance these kind of projects. In my country, in Pakistan, there are many projects built on BOT basis. that they have from the Department of Highway. They will make a concession company who will be the like the owner for this project for next 30 years, and they will arrange funding from different sources, maybe from public, maybe from the like they have the sponsors or shareholders in this company major. So they will provide their equity and whatever. Then after construction, and the project will get fee from the toll collection, whoever is pass over this bridge, so that money will be their profit will be returned to as a dividends. Okay. And they hire a contractor who will design this project and build this project. And this contractor also like they can also become a shareholder in this project, and they will build this project. And then there will be lenders like number of banks who will lend money for this project. Okay. And after they will lend money for this project. When this project start giving a return, so that money will be returned to these lenders, okay, with the according to those agreements. There is an operator who will operate this facility, and they will collect the toll fees from the end users, whoever motorists, whoever will be using this bridge. So they will be like operating this project. This is like a beauty approach that you can finance projects without government money. The concept of privatization as defined by the BOT, build, operate and transfer. Okay. So like you are going to build this project and operate it for 30 years, and then you are going to transfer it to the government department, parent department or Department of Highway in good shape after 30 years of operation. So it's a private partnership become popular in the early 1980s. Okay, so this approach become popular. Public-private partnership in early 1980s. This approach, since 1980, this approach has been implemented many projects, in the world, in every country. So privatization addresses the problem of developing infrastructure projects by using private funds to finance and construct public projects. Okay. So then they are going to give another example is a Confederation Bridge linking New Brunswick with the Prince Edward Island in Canada is another example of BOT infrastructure project. Okay, so this is another example that they have built this project as a BOT project. So with this, gentlemen, we are going to finish this project, this lesson. Again, I would suggest that please pay attention that to keep interest rate low, so that business should flourish and every project, whatever you get the loan, and it's whether you are going to build an apartment or it's a hotel or you home. So from that rent, you must be able to repay that loan, whatever the income from that. If it's a hotel, so from it's a house, so how much is the monthly rent, so from that rent you must be able to repay that loans, and by this way its economic circle will go ahead. And if a country is keeping interest rate low, or ideally it's equal to zero, but Japan is even less than zero, so I'm not saying to make it less than zero. So it's we should keep the interest rate equal to zero, and by this way we can support a lot of projects and start financing or provide funding for lot many projects, and it will create jobs for the people of every country. So with this, guys, I'm going to say thank you very much for your attention. Inshallah, we will next time we will come with another chapter. So maybe the construction equipment we will discuss. So allow me to say Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Thank you very much for your attention.